Adam here from the Walls Your Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have a 2026 Kia EV9. We'll look at the interior, exterior, some of the trim level specifics, and go for a spin around, see what it's like out on the road. All right, so now we're behind the wheel of the 26 Kia EV, and we have the GT line here today. So there's about 6 different trim levels. There's a few configurations with the single motor, dual motor, all that good stuff. So we will touch on that a little bit later. But for now, new for 2026, basically what they did was adopted the NACS charging port. So that's the North American Charging Standard port. That means you can use it at different networks. It's just gonna be a little bit easier. And this vehicle does come with a plug, so you can charge it at home, do level 2 or level 3 charging. So every Kia EV9 uses the 800 volt electrical architecture. So that's going to allow you for DC fast charging, which is pretty cool to replenish the battery very quickly. Now you can use 230 kilowatt hour maximum DC fast charging, and basically that speed is going to add about 100 miles of range and as little as just about 13 minutes. So it's a pretty efficient charging vehicle. Again, we'll touch on that stuff a little bit later. So the only other thing for 2026 would be the Nightfall Edition trim. So if you're looking for kind of the blacked out version of the EV9, give it a little bit more of that Batman feel to it, that would be the one to consider. So for now, before we get too much into the weeds, let's put it in drive. We'll go for a spin around. All right, so now that we're in drive, let's talk a little bit about the motors. So basically, there's going to be a few different options between the 6 different trim levels. The single motor is going to be about 215 horsepower. There is a light long range. It's important to note that's a rear drive, and that's 201 horsepower. But if you're looking at the one like we have here today, this is the all-wheel drive. So the all-wheel drive goes to a dual motor setup, and that bumps you up to 379 horsepower. You can use all that power at pretty much any time, and this thing is so fast on the road. It's almost hilarious. When I put my foot down earlier today, all my camera gear went flying in the back seat because this thing really rips right along. They also have this available boost mode, so it's not really something you can turn on or off, but it increases some of your peak torque, and it also just gives you a little bit more of that kind of juice off the line, which is pretty cool. This thing is fast. For a 7-passenger vehicle, this thing really gets up and moves. Now, the entry-level battery is going to be a 76.1 kilowatt hour battery. That means you're estimated at about 230 miles of range on a full charge. So then you can go to the light E all-wheel drive. Basically, that's going to give you a 99.8 kilowatt hour battery, and you're looking at about 304 miles. Now, into the GT line, we do cut our range a little bit. Even though this is the longer range, we're looking at about 280 with this particular one we have. So that's still the 99.8 kilowatt hour battery. So it's pretty good. I think obviously this one's pretty well loaded up, so it's hard not to like this one, but I think a 280 mile range is pretty strong for a 2026 EV. And like I said, getting back 100 miles of range in as little as 13 minutes when you're using fast charging is pretty cool. Now that we're kind of done with some of the techie and confusing, maybe a little bit of the motor stuff, like I said, 6 different trim levels, starting at about the mid $50,000 price range for the EV9. This competes with some pretty cool stuff. There's a lot of really cool EVs out right now, but this particular one really does blow me away with the styling. I think we went to the Twin Cities Auto Show, and to kind of show my inner 90s child, I was like, that thing looks rad. It just has such a different design language to it. Usually the EVs are kind of wild or kind of boring, and this one sort of fits right in the middle of that for me. It just has such a good design language. Even with the new 27 Telluride that just came out, I think Kia is doing such a great job in terms of their new design language and the style on these vehicles. Now this one gets a 21-inch wheel that looks so good. It's kind of like a split 4-spoke, almost like a plate design. I love the way it looks. It's such a good complement to this vehicle. There's a few different color options you can get as well, depending on some of the lineup, but you can also do a two-tone, so you can split the roof as black, this white with some of the black accents like the mirror caps, the pillars, and the roof rack rails. It all comes together to be a very sporty, yet kind of luxurious looking SUV, if that makes sense. Now, a little bit about these vehicles from the inside. They do come in a 7 or 6 passenger configuration. So the one that we have here today has the captain's chairs in the back, so we're looking at a 6 passenger, but it's really pretty comfortable in here. I think 6 is kind of the way to go. 7, you would add the bench seat in the second row there, but it does make it really nice because in that third row, if you're not hauling people with, you can fold those seats down. Make it really easy, pull the little string on the back, kicks the seats down for you. You do get a little bit of underfloor storage in that rear area. Kia. But I mean, even with the third row up, there's almost more room in this vehicle than some other huge 7 or 8 passenger SUVs. And when you fold the seats all the way down, there's even a little power button you can click in the back. That folds the second row, so you don't have to walk around to the side of the vehicle to flip the seats down. It's like a little cargo van in here, the amount of space you get. It is pretty impressive. I mean, yes, it is a large SUV, but you don't always feel like you get the most storage space out of these kind of bigger SUVs nowadays, so having that added room is pretty nice. But if you got the family, you got the kiddos, everybody's coming with you, it is pretty cool to have that third row, because even me at 6'1", I wasn't afraid to crawl back there. Some of the SUVs, I'm like, no way am I getting back there. But this one, you do have leg room. There's cup holders, you've got USB-C charging back there, and accessing the third row is pretty simple. Kind of on the shoulder of the second row, there's a button, or there's a second button, so you can click down below. If the little kiddos want to fold the seat to hop into the back, makes it a little easier. You don't have to reach all the way up. That kicks and slides the seat forward. Another great thing about that, if you got the car seats, kid seats back there, you don't have to remove those to slide or fold the seat. It just kind of kicks and slides forward, and they can crawl onto the back, which is really pretty nice. But they're probably going to be fighting over who gets the second row. So like I said, these captain chairs are so comfortable. What's really nice, it almost feels like a crazy like Range Rover style luxury feature. There's a little button on the side here. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can click and slide this seat forward and back. You can move the backrest up. So if you've got someone, you're going to feel like you're the Uber driver moving the kids around. Those are heated and ventilated seats in the GT line, so everybody's going to be comfortable, no matter if it's 100 degrees or -20. That is pretty nice. Then there is USB-C charging in the back of those seats. There's this cool little storage cubby down here, and it kind of slides out as what feels like almost like an airplane tray table back there. There's a nice deep storage cubby in there, and then you also get just a little bit of storage up here above. But they figured people are probably going to be digging in. You want the kids to have stuff in the back. That is a pretty nice feature. Then up into the driver's seat. So what about the ride and drive? It is so quiet in here. I don't know if you can tell from the intro, but it is super windy. It's like 15 or 20 mile an hour gusts today, and you almost don't hear any of it inside the EV9. They did an amazing job insulating this vehicle. I mean, I'm cruising around at 45 miles an hour. The roads kind of here on the tail end of winter are terrible. Potholes, cracks in the road and everything. This thing just eats it up. I was a little worried with the larger 21-inch wheel that you might not get as good of a ride as you get in here, but holy cow is this thing good. It is such a comfortable place to be. It really is nice. The steering is perfect. It's like a thicker steering wheel in here. I really like it. Not only that, but it's also a heated steering wheel. So it was a little chilly this morning when I got going. So having the heated steering wheel going, I've also got heated seats in here, and there's like 100 different ways you can kind of move this seat around to get super comfortable in here very quickly. So that's a pretty awesome feature as well. One thing I love is you can hear I click on the blinker. There's a camera in here. So I've got blind spot monitoring in the side mirrors. Those are heated, they're auto dimming as well, but I've also got a full live view. So when I click on the blinker, it gives me a look to the left or to the right, and that's right up here in my digital gauge cluster. So that's pretty sweet. Sometimes you can't quite see what's going on, even though the mirrors are pretty big and visibility is really good out of here. It just makes it a little bit easier to give you that peace of mind that you can see right there in your blind spot. I love that feature. I wish every single car had that. But besides that, in the digital cluster on the left side of the steering wheel here, you can go through and just kind of look at some of your pertinent information. There's also some of your safety stuff in there, like lane departure warning. There's so much stuff built into these vehicles. You just get a quick glimpse at it there, or something like your adaptive cruise control. So you can set a certain distance on the road, keeps that distance of the vehicle ahead of you. If you're just eating up, I mean, whether it's a cabin trip or just your daily commute, that is a great safety feature and makes it really nice for doing a bunch of miles and having the Kia kind of look out for you, maybe if you're not paying attention. Then beyond that, it also gives you just a quick little look at your range. So what your max range could be or your minimum range, because if you're putting your foot into it, you can eat up a little bit of range, and there is some drive modes. So if I kick it down into a sport mode and put my foot down, I mean, it's crazy. It doesn't do it justice on camera just how fast it is. I mean, it really does whip your head back because this thing gets up and just boogies. That's the coolest thing about electric vehicles is you get that instant torque. So there's no real delay in there. You put your foot down and you are off and moving. But another thing that's pretty cool, they put the climate control kind of just between the infotainment screen and the cluster. So that just gives you quick access to that. You can also use physical buttons down here for temperature and fan speed. But then we've got our infotainment screen, which gives me wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is so nice. There's a crazy backup camera in there. There's actually a little button you can push down here. That pulls up the camera if you're stopped or moving slowly. You can do a full 360 view. It makes parking so easy. And this thing also has the smart park feature. So basically you can remote start the vehicle from outside, and if someone parked like way too close to you at the grocery store, you can actually pull the vehicle out or move it out of its parking spot. That is pretty cool. One of those gimmicky things until you really need it, you have it. That is a sweet feature. And this also gets park assist. So maybe you're not the best at parking. This obviously is a larger vehicle, so having the park assist in there is really pretty convenient and a nice little feature. But then the CarPlay is great. Text messaging, Google Maps, Spotify, it's all built into there. And this screen is very responsive. You can swipe all the way over. It'll even show you like some photos. If you want to see some old dog photos in there, your weather, it is so, so cool. Then this one also gets a digital mirror. So I can flip that, get a digital view out of the back of the vehicle. Like I said, maybe you're on the cabin trip, got the vehicle all the way loaded up, it can't see out of the mirror. Kids are in the back, can't see around them. Flipping that up, having the digital look is pretty sweet. Then to go with the infotainment screen, the Meridian sound system. It is crazy how good it is. It is maybe worth the upgrade alone to go to the GT line just for the Meridian sound system. Yes, you can get it in a few of the other trim levels, but holy cow, if you are rocking out to Fleetwood Mac on your way to work, you are going to feel like you are at a live show. It is so good in here. It's a full surround system. Then I put on a podcast to listen. It feels like you're sitting in the studio with the podcast. So if you're an audiophile, that is a huge upgrade and something you might want to look into. So one other little cool thing in here, there's like haptic buttons on the dash. So you can go to the home screen. There is a lot of stuff in the home menu as well, whether it's the built-in navigation or some of the EV settings. So you can click on the EV mode, it shows you all your nearest charging stations, your battery status, your electricity use. So if it's heavy in the wintertime, obviously it uses a little more battery for all the climate control stuff. So you can kind of monitor that. But it's almost like playing a video game. You can drive a little better, change some stuff, that will upgrade it. So that's pretty sweet. Just a quick look at all the battery stuff is really nice. You can also go through and look at your safety, or you can program your phone for YouTube, different entertainment stuff you can do in there. There's a lot of pretty cool stuff in that little infotainment screen. And then you also get a heads-up display. So that shows you some of your safety stuff, the speed limit, how fast you're going. That's a pretty nice little safety feature to have as well. So what's really cool is this kind of little floating armrest. So that gives you your cup holders. So you can flip that open. You can click the little button. It's like a little switchblade. The little kind of things slide out to if you want to put a bigger drink in there, or you can just push them out of the way if you want to use it as storage. And then that's where your button's going to be for your auto hold and your camera, and then wireless charging for your phone, and a fingerprint scanner. So there's lots of tech in here, which is pretty sweet. But having the wireless charging for your phone, then just that little storage area down here for your keys or anything else you want to put in there. I mean, there's a lot to like with the EV9. I knew that I loved the style and design of the vehicle, but I didn't know how quiet and comfortable and easy it would be to live with for day to day. I'm thinking 99% of the time, this vehicle is going to do more than enough for me, yet it's going to give me a bunch of comfort and luxury, and it's fun. You can set like the different little paddles behind the steering wheel to change your level 1, 2, 3, or an I pedal. So basically what that's doing, it's kind of controlling the regen of the system. So the brakes can kind of regen, so you can help get a little bit of power back that way. It's pretty cool. So if you've driven an EV before and you like the I pedal or one pedal driving, that's a pretty nice feature. Or you can set it back to 0, it just drives like a normal car. There's just such a great feel to this vehicle on the road. It's easy, like I got in and I was immediately comfortable. It's not every vehicle you can hop into and feel like, yep, I could drive this every day. It's easy, there's lots of convenience in here, lots of features. I think the mileage and range is pretty good, whether you can charge at work or if you just charge at home, even if you just got a level 1 to kind of maintain the battery until you get to a level 2 or anything else. There's a lot of good stuff in the EV9. I like the outside look. I love all the interior stuff. I mean, even little things like in the third row, there's a plug-in back there for like a household plug, which is really nice. So if you're going camping, got one of those sweet coolers you can plug in back there is pretty nice. I mean, there's a lot here. You can remote start the vehicle, get it nice and toasty, have the seats comfortable and heated up when it's cold like it was today. Or, like I said, if you're running to work, gym, picking up the kids, this vehicle is so easy to live with because when it's quiet and comfortable somewhere, just makes it such a relaxing thing. That's something that Kia really delivers on. There's safety, so you know the vehicle's looking out for you, yet there's comfort to make sure your day-to-day is gonna be going great. I love how good the tech is in here. I mean, having the CarPlay just fire up, work, swipe back and forth. There's no lag in that system. The sunroof, there's a dual sunroof in here, so it really does lighten it up. But I mean, I think overall, tech, style, equipment, I mean, there is so much good stuff. I love how it looks on the outside, and inside it's just as comfortable. So I think if you're in the market for an EV, whether you're shopping, you know, any of the other vehicles, or like the Rivian is such a great choice, there's a lot of pretty good SUVs. But this particular one, MSRP wise, we're coming in around $75,000. So yes, I get it, it is expensive, but at the time of filming, there's quite a few discounts, and we're about $10,000 back of that, if not more. So you're getting a lot of car for the money. All the tech, safety, third row capability, I mean, and the 280 mile range with 379 horsepower. There's a lot to like out of the EV9. So I think if you're in the market, you gotta get out, take one for a spin, and see what you think. Now that was just a quick look and drive at the 2026 Kia EV9. Now if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by anytime. We'd be more than happy to help. Thanks again for watching.